X-Pac 12360. Featuring weekly news, insider commentary, and interviews with superstars, past and present from the world of pro wrestling.
A new day is dawning for DX.
And now, your host, Sean X-Pac Waltman.
We're back on X-Pac 12360 with this man. He began his career as the Soul Taker, scoring his first heavyweight championship in 1989, going on to cast a spell on us as Papa Shango in WWF and wreaked havoc with the Nation of Domination, where his most memorable gimmick came with a train of ladies. All aboard! The Godfather is here today. Hello, Godfather.
Man, what's going on? What's everybody doing, man?
Well, right now we're listening to your music.
Which is pretty funky.
We thought we'd give you a musical intro. Okay. Hey, so what should we call you? Charles, Papa, Bear? What's it going to be today, man?
You call me what you want to call me, because you call me all of those things, man. So you call me whatever you feel like it. You can call me Charles, you can call me Papa, you can call me Godfather. I think you normally used to call me Charles, if I'm not mistaken.
It depended on the situation, I think. But hey, Charles, let me ask you right off the top. How does it feel to be a Hall of Famer now, man?
Yeah.
Oh man, I got put in the club, man. The members only club.
Yeah, man, and you totally deserve it. Yes. Here's the thing: when they were announcing the Hall of your class of Hall of Fame, when I heard that you were going to be in that class, dude, I hit the roof. I was so happy, man, because you're one of the coolest cats that I've ever shared a locker room with, man. So I'm so happy for you when it comes to that.
Oh man, I know you're not bullshitting either, man.
Not
I know
at all,
you mean
man.
that. And that means a lot to me, bro.
Yeah,
that means a lot to me.
And Charles, you know, I think back, and I was last night watching some stuff from Memphis, and you showing up down there with Larry Sharp. So you went through the Monster Factory, huh?
Man, I went to a shop, but I wasn't there that long, dude. I was there for, literally, man, I was there for maybe a month, and Jerry Lawler seen me, and I was just so different at the time, this big black dude with tattoos, and I was just so different that, bam, within 3 months, man, I'm wrestling Jerry Lawler in Memphis as Soul Taker. And from there, man, just kept working, kept working. But yeah, man, a lot of people don't know that me and Undertaker were a team there at the end called Death Express. He was Master of Pain.
That's right.
And I was the Soul Taker, man. A lot of people don't know that. That's where me and him met back in them days.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. And then you went on to now, were you still in Memphis when you showed up in Dallas? Were you working both places at the same time?
Well, yeah. I was working both places at the same time.
And because I know you did the GW, I know you were at least on 1 or 2 GWF tapings, and I was down there too at that time, but we missed each other back then.
Yeah, but see, that was on TV only when I was part of it.
Yeah.
I think they were doing TV like every
Friday.
every week. We were doing TV. But I don't even know if it was ever a territory. But I was there just doing TV at the beginning, and I was there for a minute. I did a few shows.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It was strictly TV. There was 2 house shows, and one was in Gadsden, Alabama, and the other one was in Cobb County Civic Center in Marietta, Georgia.
How you guys remember that stuff after all the matches you've had? I'll never know.
Hey, Charles, tell us a little bit about your time in Germany.
Oh man, when I was over there, I got booked over there. Scott Hall was there. Yeah. Chris Benoit was there. Owen Hart was there. Dave Taylor was there.
Wow.
Fit Finley was there. Salvatore Bellomo was there. Eddie Steinbach was there. And that was the group that was there that whole year that I was there, man. And that was, I don't know if I learned how to drink more, party more, or wrestle more, but I had a lot of good time out there, man. It was just wild. You'd wrestle just about every day, and you'd be in the same town for like 30 days. You'd be in Hanover, and then the next town would be Bremen, and you'd be in that town for 40 days, and then you might have to go to Glatz, Austria, or Vienna, Austria. And then it was just pretty cool, man. It was pretty damn cool. And you'd wrestle in you'd follow the Oktoberfest, and you wrestled in these pits, but it drew every night. And just look at the talent that I named that was on those shows, man.
Yeah, amazing talent, right? And how about the living situation? Did you have your own caravan? How'd that work for you?
Well, is this a PG?
No, you let it fly, bro.
What are we doing?
Let it fly, Charles.
All right. Well, they had caravans out there, but me being who I am, and you know me pretty well.
Oh yeah.
I would go out and take one of the guys like Dave Taylor, or usually it'd be Dave Taylor, somebody that spoke German, and he would go to a club, and then I would hook up with some girl that had her own place and had her own auto, as they would say, and then I would live with her for a while, dude, and I would have her go pick Scott Hall, Chris, Owen, whoever wanted to go to the gym. She'd go by and pick us all up or pick them up because I was living with her.
Nice. And
we'd go to the gym, and it was, some of the best times I've had was living in Germany, wrestling out there. It's just some of the best times I've had in wrestling. It was out in Germany.
And Scott Hall said the same thing, and that's why I asked you that, Charles. And you know what else he told me was that, like, as far as the caravans went, all the single guys that like to party would have their caravans in one area, and all the people with their wives and kids would have theirs in a separate area.
Yeah, I had a caravan the whole time and never slept in the damn thing.
Did you ever do anything in the caravan, Charles?
I smoke a lot of hash.
Oh yeah. Yeah, here's the thing, Charles. I know this, but a lot of people don't know this because the Godfather was all about rolling a fatty for this pimp daddy, but and you talk about smoking a bit of hash in Europe back in the day, but there was quite a while when you weren't really much of the cannabis guy. You were strictly, the Jack Daniels guy, right?
When I was Papa Shango, I was whiskey, Jack Daniels, and beer, man. Jack Daniels is all I drink. Jack Daniels and beer. Never smoked in my life.
And believe it or not, I'm sorry, Charles.
I'm not going to name names, but I'd be in the car riding 4 deep, man, and the guys in the car would be smoking, and I'd literally have my head out the window so I didn't have to smell the shit, all right? And when I was going through this divorce, a friend of mine, the man named Freddie.
Oh, yeah.
I went and stayed a week with Freddie, and then
he goes by Big Worm now, by the way.
Yes, he does.
Sorry about that.
I spent a week with him, and I tried smoking. I went to the gym with Hawk and Animal, and I probably had the best workout that I've ever had in my life. It opened up my eyes, dude. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing pills, stopped doing a lot of stuff, man, and it just, to this day, it's what I still do, I'm a firm believer that it has a lot of good things. Besides just getting high, it has a lot of benefits to it, too.
Amen, Charles. I mean, it's been amazing for me, man. It's been a lifesaver for me. And just like a lot of our friends, we've gone down that road with the pills and the booze and all that. And, I mean, it's such an amazing alternative to going down that road, man. And hey, this is the funny thing that a lot of people will. Sorry if this embarrasses you, but Charles Wright the Godfather, knows the words to every single Hank Williams Jr. song I think that was ever put out.
Hey, I'm glad I'm proud of that. That's not something I hide. To this day, I'm proud of that.
That's great. Oh,
I'm probably a lot more country than people think I am. And I used to say I got a lot of redneck in me, but now I just say I got a lot of country boy in me.
And then, hey, Charles, can we talk about your time in the motorcycle gang?
Yeah.
Can you clue all the people at home that are listening?
I didn't get going back. I've always been a little different, man. And I was like, when I came to Vegas, probably in about '83, I was a biker, rode Harleys when most of the black guys rode Hondas at the 750s. I rode a Harley and came out here and started getting tattooed and hanging out with more biker types. So I'm probably 6'5", 300 pounds. So I started getting tattoos and meeting more biker types people, and it was kind of the way that I was living, and I was an old country boy anyway. And so they started a club out here called the Thugs, and I was in that club for a long time. For a long time I was in that club until I got into wrestling, and then the club was kind of going in a different direction in which the original OGs started it were going. So I kind of retired I don't even know what the words they used for it. I'm a retired member or something like that.
Right on.
Well, you talked a little bit about in Germany you liked to find a girl and then live with her instead of spending time on the caravan. So is that where this whole idea of like finding the ladies in every city came from? Like once the Ho train came along, were you in charge of that?
But I always, from day one, I've always worked in strip clubs from day one. Even when I was playing football in Reno, I worked in strip clubs. And so the whole thing, you know what, I've always known how to communicate with dancers. I just put it that way. And I've been in them. I'm still in. I was at D'Lo Brown works for me at my club here in Vegas. I got a club called Cheetahs. D'Lo Brown works for me. And so I can't get away from naked women. But I just know the business well. That character was just developed out of my personality, which involves those girls, basically.
You know, speaking of that character, Charles, you know, going back to, actually the motorcycle thing made me think of one particular moment when you first started the Kama character. Remember that? And they brought you a Harley, but it was a Sportster.
Uh-oh.
And that's considered a female. That's considered a lady's bike.
Right.
And Charles had to ride.
Not a big tough guy's bike.
Yeah, but I think you actually drove that to the ring one time on television.
I don't even know if it made TV, but it was a Sportster.
And
I'm like, you guys even know what this thing is? It can't be. Yeah, anyway, I tried to explain to them.
It looked like something. It looked like Medusa's bike actually, but she
like a monkey. You know what in the football?
Actually, yeah, monkey fucking a football. That was one of Chief Jay Strongbow's favorite things to say. But actually, Medusa, I think rode a Fat Boy. I don't even think she rode a fucking Sportster.
Oh man, I'm glad you reminded me of that.
Sorry about that. Hey, but that brings me Kama was part of the Nation of Domination, but during that time you evolved from Kama into the Godfather, and that whole thing, as far as I remember, Charles, and I remember you talking about it and putting it all together. That was your creation. The Godfather was yours, all yours. Am I right or wrong about that?
The Godfather was all me, my wife, and my high-ass friends that I used to smoke with on Wednesdays and Thursdays when I was home.
Yeah, and shout out to Denise, by the way.
Oh, yes. She's not here right now. She's out getting something done to herself. She's so beautiful as it is. But
she is, man. And she is amazing, dude. And she stayed in the game for how long now? Wow.
Oh, well, we've been married 16 years.
Wow, man.
And yeah, I've known her for probably 19.
And didn't she used to actually, when we would go...
She still looks as good as she did, man, back in the day when we were all on the road. She was hanging out with me.
You're absolutely right. You know what, Charles? I that's the first thing I thought when I saw her at Hall of Fame ceremony. Was, my God, she looks exactly the same. Just amazing. But
oh, dude, believe me, I married way up on the pole.
Hey, didn't Denise used to help recruit the hoes for the Hoe Train?
Dude, Denise used to do everything. She used to help on the road. You know, me and Take and the twins and the Airspurs, at first we started getting them, and then it kind of really took off. And once it really took off, Vince got involved, and then they assigned somebody to getting them, and then it got to the point where I had a certain deal with a lot of the girls that would. I'll tell you the deal if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
I had a deal with a lot of the girls on the house shows that I would book myself, and. I don't know if you want to hear that story.
Yeah, hell yeah, I want to hear it. Because I don't think I've heard this one.
You're probably a benefit of it a bunch of times you don't even know. My deal with the girls was, I'm like, listen, if you guys ever want to do this again, don't wait for the office to call you. Don't wait for anybody to call you. Just say, Godfather said I can do it, and that's all you need to do. I said, this is what I want from you. I would tell them, this is a true story. I would tell them, you go tell your boyfriends that the Godfather wants a quarter ounce of the best weed that they have.
Nice.
He can give me. I said, and your boyfriends will be so glad that I don't want to fuck you, or I don't want you to fuck all my friends, that they're going to get me the best weed that they can get me. And so this is after about 3 or 4 months of making the loop. Come on, man. Every town I go to, these hoes would be bringing me weed. And I know that you sat with me many a times.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd have a best weed, and we all would have it. And we always all took care of each other as the smoking guys.
So that's where that weed came from we were smoking?
Yeah.
No wonder.
I would always have it right away because the girls, then they would say they want to get it to me early and make sure that they were on the show, so they'd come to my hotel and they'd drop me off. Dude, we'd be there for 1 day and have to fly out, and they'd give me like a half an ounce and shit. And I could smoke
come on, man.
I can't smoke a half an ounce in a night.
Bullshit. Don't even go there, Charles, because I've seen you go through an ounce in a day. I don't know how many times. It was ridiculous, man. It was to the point where I was tapping out. I'm like, fuck it, I've had enough. How much fucking weed do we need to smoke?
All right, well, I was trying to make it sound good, but maybe I could, but sometimes I could.
Dude, it was, I remember specifically you burning through an ounce a day. Mind you, you were sharing with everyone that partook.
Well, I was, I was going probably through 2-3 ounces of weed a week.
Well, when other people are bringing it to you, what the hell, right?
No wonder you were so popular with the other guys on the road.
You know what? I never smoked a drug test.
Hey, me neither. Well, actually, that's not true. I failed a couple, but only for weed. But that was back in the 90s, man. Remember how they were testing this in the early 90s, Charles?
Yeah, man. I don't even know if they were going after weed. I'm watching a picture with Adam Chandler in it. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm checking there. And there's a bathroom scene, and it made me think of me, you, and I'm not going to mention the other people, one time being in the bathroom. That's when they came out with those little
Hello Neighbor
looking things where you take a hit and you blow your hit through this little cigarette looking thing.
You're the first person I saw. You brought those around. I don't know if you remember what they were called. They were called Happy or Friendly Neighbor or Hello something Neighbor. And it looked,
something like that.
And it looked like
it
looked like a tube of chapstick, but you took the hit, and then you blew it out through this thing, and it came out the other side smelling like cherries or strawberry or whatever flavor the damn thing was.
The only thing that didn't work with me was I would take such a big ass hit.
Yeah.
But I'd fucking coughing while I was trying to do it.
Yeah, and it stunk the dressing the locker room bathroom up.
Fucking room up anyway.
And you know what happened right after that? Shane McMahon came to me and said, "Look, man, I'm not asking much. Just can you guys go outside and smoke? Not in the fucking buildings?" And I'm like, "Shane, that's not too much to ask." And then we got caught.
Hey, me and you have been popped a few times together in different places.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh man. This is fun,
I'm just picturing
man.
it.
This is fun. I'm so glad you came on the show, man. I know you don't do these things. Oh man.
That's the sad thing is most of the stories that involve me involve smoking weed or women.
But none of them really
I don't know
are.
if that's good or bad.
But really, were we harming anyone?
Man, I'm telling you what, bro. I was living the dream, man, and people have no idea, and you know me, how close the Godfather and Charles Wright are the same person.
That's why it worked.
This day,
That's why it worked, Charles.
you know, to this day, to just how I live my life today, man. It just, I knew I was going to be talking to you, so I sit here and took like 3 or 4 nice dab hits off my rig, and it's just cool, man. Life, I've been pretty blessed in life. I got a great family, man. I'm very content in life. I get to smoke and stay happy, do my job, make a little money, man, and just enjoy life, man. Try to keep out of all this other nonsense.
That's what's up, man.
And talking about your kids, what do they think about the Godfather persona and all these kind of antics that everyone in the world knows about? What do your kids say about that?
Dude, my kids, they see so much more than just the wrestling. The wrestling, Brad Shaw said in the Hall of Fame when he announced me, he said it, man, that, in my case, I had to calm down my character in wrestling from my real life. And that's so true. My kids have seen it, man. My kids have seen a lot more than what you've seen on TV. And what's cool, I have a 30-year-old daughter, a 27-year-old son, a 24-year-old son, and a 12-year-old that's at home now. All right? Not one of them's been in jail. They've all been through school. They all work. And none of them smoke. Okay, not every one of them have grown up with me smoking in the house. So I'm just Dad, man. And Dad, a lot of people know me as Bear. Bear's almost in Vegas in some places. Bear's almost bigger than the Godfather. Godfather's just something Bear did.
Yeah.
So it's just you really have to know me. Sean knows me real well, man. I'm really a character, but I ain't a bad dude, man, and I've been pretty fair with everybody. Sean's always been a great dude. It's always been a pleasure knowing him, man. He's always been cool with me. We've both been through a few things.
Hey, Charles, I was thinking about this one time. Do you remember, in the early 90s, at the end of your Papa Shango run, you left, but then you came back for a European tour. You remember that?
Uh-huh.
And we were on the bar one night, like during that tour, and I'm just sitting there and I'm drunk and acting like, I was the kid and, being the kid. Anyways, I felt like I kept getting hit in the head with peanuts, and I didn't know who was doing it, but there was peanuts on my table too. So I took one, put it in my thumb, and I flipped it backwards, and it flew across the room and it hit Taker right in the eye.
Uh-oh.
And the ooh in the bar didn't even get a chance to die down before all of a sudden I felt this big old python wrap around my neck and lift me up out of my seat in a rear chin lock and could have squeezed my head off, and it was you.
I know how this story's gonna end.
Oh shit! No, it just reminded me of how tight you and Taker were, man. You guys would die for each other.
Man, we've been through it, bro.
Oh shit!
Tough wrestling, man. We've been through it in life, just like you've been through with your brothers, man.
Oh yeah.
He's a brother of mine. We've been through it. When we talk to each other now, we never talk wrestling. Wrestling doesn't even come up. We talk about everything but wrestling,
Wow.
But
Hey, Charles. Hey, can we talk about BSK and the clique, that whole thing? Because you were the one that actually set the record straight on what BSK actually means.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we didn't know back then. It was
back then, nobody would say nothing. I just got tired of people thinking what it was and having us to be these thugs that are out the street. Dude, another thing, I don't ever remember having a problem with you, Hunter, Triple A, our fucking Razor, Nash. I've never in my life had a problem with you guys. And I always hear that we have these problems. If we had these problems, I sure the hell didn't know.
No, there was never one. That's the funniest thing about it, and that's why I brought it up, because all this myth and lore got created over something that all it was kind of a fucking inside joke almost. Like, okay, you're the clique, well, we're BSK, because y'all like to play bones, you know?
We were nothing more than guys that played dominoes and hung out together.
That's it. And everybody, I just thought it was
power struggle. Everybody always said that's Taker's group. I'm like, no, that was Yoko's group.
Yep. Yeah. So
anyway, I'm like, if people always bring up these, well, Savio said this and this one said that, I'm like, listen, I know all those dudes, man. They're all my friends. I've never ever had issues with any of them guys. Not once. They're always. We were probably looking out for each other more than anything.
Most definitely.
How many times we out on the road we had to cover each other's back on certain shit out there back in the days when it was a little crazier.
Oh yeah, I can remember this situation that happened in up in Moncton, and that's up in the Maritimes area, Halifax and all that. And there was this one bar called Ziggy's we all used to go to, Charles, and it was like it was us and a bunch of the locals surrounding us because they didn't like us showing up and macking on their ladies. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, it was like a deal where we were surrounded, and then the car pulls up, the black Cadillac, and out comes Yoko, out comes Junior, Fatu, Keish. I think you might have been there. But anyways, I mean, motherfuckers parted like the Red Sea. It was great.
Because we watched each other's back out there, man. People didn't understand back then, man, is when there wasn't no cell phones, there wasn't no laptops, or there wasn't no PlayStation, there wasn't all that, man. Every night you went out drinking. You went to the strip club just about every night. You were at least at the bar or the strip club every night. You remember that? Then the whole card would go out. That's how I was brought up.
Yeah, that's how I was brought up too, and I was taught that that's where all business is done, in the bar after the show.
Yeah, man. I know it's a lot different than that now, but that's how I was brought up.
It is. It is a lot different, and I think that, and it becoming different and it evolving. I think that the outlaw spirit has been lost for the most part, but Charles, I'll take it in trade for not watching my colleagues die early deaths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Hey, just go back on weed. I can't tell you how many of those guys of our friends have died that I used to try to get to smoke weed and get off this other bullshit.
Hey.
And that's true.
I know it 100%.
I try to get everybody to just smoke weed instead of this other shit. Just get high, man.
Yep. Hey, man.
So many of our bros, man. So many. It's slowing down, thank God. I think a lot of guys are getting smart to it, and then a lot of us that are still left around, we're getting smart and figuring out we got to take better care of ourselves before it's too late.
Yeah. Hey, I figured it out finally. If I could figure it out, I think pretty much anybody can. So.
I've carried you in a few times.
Oh yeah, you have. by the back of my pants, like I was a 6-pack of beer or some shit.
Well, what happens now when you guys get together and hang out?
I don't do any of these things. Believe me, I do very few of these things, and you know that because you probably never see me on the road.
Yeah.
But when I hear it was you, I'm like, oh, for him, I'll do it. Hell yeah, man.
That's what
I'm happy for him.
That's what Christy said, and I just got this big old grin on my face. I'm like, trust me, I don't know if I've ever heard him do another show before. So, man.
Yeah, I don't, because I don't want to tell those stories, you know.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here and telling them to us, man. Shit, it's good talking to you, man. I'm going to have to come to Vegas and see you at the Cheetah.
I would love you to come to see me at the Cheetah. You don't even have to come to the Cheetah. You can come to my house. You can come to whatever, but I'd love to see you.
Nice. Yeah, well,
I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a minute, probably since WrestleMania.
Yeah, since the Hall of Fame. But, no, I mean, people don't understand, like, as far as, like, the boys go, like, we cannot see each other or talk to each other for, like, a couple of years or even longer at a time. And then we see each other, and it's like, bam, like it was yesterday. You know, we just pick up where we left off.
No, you're exactly right, man. You're exactly right. Especially the ones that are really friends.
Man. So, go ahead, Christy. I know you're dying to jump in on our private conversation here.
I do want to get some juicy questions in since the Godfather doesn't speak out a whole lot. And Jimbo in the booth is not here with us today, but he tweeted me a question, and he wanted us to ask you about the Brawl for All. Was that something that you liked? Did you think it was sort of ahead of its time, or was it a waste of time and talented wrestlers? What's your take now?
You know, I thought it was cool. I mean, I got knocked the fuck out, but you know, I just, my problem was I didn't take it as serious as I should have. I thought I was just going to go in there and go through everybody, and you know.
Well, you did pretty much until the end. I mean, shit, Charles, you made it to the fucking finals.
Hey, you know, you're going out there now at your element. They came to me, Bradshaw said it wasn't his idea, but it was Bradshaw's idea, and they came to me, and they're like, we'll pay you this much for each one, and then I'm like, hey, I ain't afraid, fuck, I'll get out there. I ain't afraid to fight.
I just hated it, man. Personally, I hated everything about it because I hated seeing the boys going out there and headhunting on each other like that, you know, with bad intentions. And it just fucking, it bothered me, man. You know, all the guys that got injured and everything because of it. And so that part,
I did too. I got fucking injured. But, you know, I bet you me and you and I spent a lot of different, man. I've been in so many fights and so many bar fights and beaten all type of bad shit that I could fight with somebody and go have a beer with you later, man. Like, I fought Flash Funk. And I told him, dude, whatever happens, let's just go out and smoke one, and like we always do, you know. And after that shit, I fought him, and I was hitting him pretty good. And we went and smoked afterwards. So
nice.
It wasn't as hard. I'm sorry that so many people got hurt. It seemed like the only people that came out of that thing was me and Bradshaw that had anything left, a career.
That's correct.
You know, it kind of ended everybody else's career.
Yeah, it did, man. It was brutal. I hated seeing what happened with Bart getting thrown into that deal with Butterbean like that, man. That was shit. You could.
You know, I was. I'm not going to say Butterbean was smoking, but I'm just going to say this. I was in a room smoking, and Butterbean was in the room.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and he said, "This is what I swear, what I can remember." He told me, he said, "I told Vince, I'm going to knock this kid out in seconds." And he says, "Here's the bottom line. No matter how good Butterbean is or is not, Butterbean had like 150 fights. So no matter how many fights he has had, he's had 150 professional fights against professional fighters. We're just guys out there, tough guys throwing punches. We are not professional fighters. So how long do you really think it was going to take Butterbean to knock this kid out?" And he said, "I'm going to knock him out within the second. I ain't going to fuck with him." And he did. Wow. He's a professional. That part.
You know, I saw Butterbean.
We never heard from you.
I saw Butterbean a couple weeks ago, man. He's not doing too good, man. He could barely walk, and it was sad because he was a pretty cool guy, man. I always thought he was very cool.
Yeah, I liked him, you know. Another dude I thought was real cool off the subject was Little Joe C. Remember Joe C?
Yeah, man. Thank you for bringing that up, man. Because 101, and he loved our business so much. He wanted to quit working for Bob for Kid Rock and come sign with WWE. And they were almost ready to do it, and then they just got spooked because of his health issues.
Yeah, man. I smoked so much with that little dude.
Well, that's all he could do.
He was a cool dude.
He had celiac disease. He died from celiac disease at 25 years old.
This is Kid Rock's little person,
yes,
right?
And he used to say, "I'm not a fucking midget." That was his thing, But anyways, he had a feeding tube in his stomach, and he had to take 80 pills a day just to live. And the only thing that he could do to relieve stress was use cannabis, because it wasn't toxic to his body. Mm-hmm. So
you're right.
Yeah. And thank you for bringing that up, man. I miss him, man. He called me and left me a message right before he passed. And when I listened to his message, I could just tell there was he was heartbroken because the whole thing with the WWE signing with Vince fell through, and man,
yeah.
So yeah, what a cool.
I like the dude, man. And his hands were so little. I don't know if you remember this. He could roll a really nice joint, but his hands were so small he couldn't run a blunt. So he'd always be like, "Come on, you can't roll with the joint, bro. You can't roll with the joint." So I'd roll him up. I'd see him, and I would roll up 2 or 3 big blunts.
His joints he rolled looked like Virginia Slims.
Yeah. Because I know that you liked it, is the only reason I brought his name up, because I know you were friendly with him.
Yeah.
I always liked the dude, man. I always tried to teach him. I always tried to show him a lot of respect, because I don't think his buddy Kid Rock showed him much, but I'm not even going to get into that.
Right. Yeah, I won't get into that either. Hey, so what about Ice-T? That was pretty sweet, man. I remember when he came. It was WrestleMania in Anaheim, and he came out with you, man. That was pretty sweet. Did you ever build a relationship with him outside of that?
Nah, I mean, I had some bad blood with him, man.
Oh, really?
Before all that.
Oh, shit. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to bring it up. Fuck.
Nah, and that's sometimes how Vince could be, and Vince could be, and Vince knew that. And so all of a sudden, next thing I know, Vince knew of the little bad blood that I had with him. Next thing I know, I was going through Snoop Dogg. I was trying to get Exhibit to do my song. And next thing I know, Ice-T did my song. That weak-ass Pippin' Ain't Easy song, whatever it was.
Right.
And next thing I know, I'm walking out at WrestleMania with them. And not only walking out at WrestleMania with them, me and Dio are in the tag, and they're going over me. Sometimes Vince will fuck with you, man.
Oh, sometimes? Sometimes? Oh, shit. Try all the time. Especially if you're in your own hometown. Have you ever won working for Vince? Have you ever won in your own hometown ever once?
Very, very seldom, man. Very seldom. Very seldom.
Because I know this one time we had Raw in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome in front of like 40,000 people, and that's Ron Simmons' hometown, right? So I look on the sheet or on the lineup, and I'm in a singles match with Ron. Guess who went over? Me.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, damn, man.
One name that hasn't come up yet is The Rock. And I'm just wondering if, Godfather, did you sort of foresee The Rock becoming as big of a star as he is and sort of transcending pro wrestling?
Vince came to me and Ron, and he called me and Ron to his office. And he said, "Do you guys know who this kid is? Rocky Maivia," whatever they called him. And I didn't know who the hell he was. Ron did. And Vince's exact words, what I can remember was, if I can remember this right, "We're about to make this kid the biggest thing wrestling's ever seen." Bam, I'm going to put him in the nation, and that went off. But that's how that conversation started. At first, me, Ron, D-Lo, and The Rock were riding together in the nation. But The The Rock came to me, Dwayne came to me one day and said, "Big man," he said, I can't ride with you guys no more. And I'm like, "Why is that?" He says, "Because every time I go do an interview, every time I do an appearance, I'm smelling like weed." He goes, "Bro, I don't even smoke weed." As soon as I get in the car, I used to I got a fucking drink because I got the fucking car, no matter whose car it was.
Hey, it's your fucking car, man. They want to ride with you, they're going to have to smell some weed.
I will say this about him. I must just tell you how he's one of the coolest dudes in the business, man.
Yes.
I was happy for him that he has done what he's done. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, man. I ain't got anything bad to say about him. He's always a cool dude with me.
The people that I find that do have anything negative to say about him are pretty much full of sour grapes and just haters, man. Because the guy did everything right, Charles. He did everything how you should do it.
You damn. Other people didn't that have got not even close to that, but close to that didn't do it the way he did it. He did it right, so you can't be mad at him.
And not only that, he was a pleasure to work with. He was an absolute pleasure to work with. And I'm not saying that right now just trying to blow smoke up his ass because he's the biggest star in the world. That's a fact, man. He was so fucking cool to work with.
I got to hang out with him for a while too, man. He was a cool dude, man. I always tell people, couldn't happen to a nicer dude.
Hey, Charles, another thing I wanted to bring up. After you became the Godfather, and we started doing, our little angle, DX and the Nation. Were you at all pissed off at the fact that we dressed up and did blackface and imitated you guys?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, I know you're asking me this question. I already know you know the answer to this, but dude, I had no fucking problem with that. To this day, I thought that was the funniest shit in the world, especially when Road Dogg did the fucking Dino fucking head shake in the corner and shit.
Yeah.
I thought that fucking Billy could have said more than puts up, hose down, but that's all right. But
yeah.
I had no problem with it. I thought it was funny, man. You know what? I know all you dudes. I know the business. I know all you dudes. I know nobody had no racial fucking meaning, hatred towards it. We were just having fun, making something funny, dude. It's what everybody was doing. And I don't know if any other guys had a problem with it. If they did, they didn't say nothing to me about it.
I think I might have had more problem with it than any of you guys, to be honest with you, because I had my doubts about it. I had my doubts about it, and when I finally decided, okay, I'm gonna do it, I figured if I'm gonna do this shit, I'm gonna make it as funny as absolutely possible, because you have to, else it's gonna fucking fall flat, and people are gonna shit all over it.
I'm sitting here laughing down about it, man. I thought it was funny.
I just wanted to clear that up. I just wondered where you stood on the subject.
Man, come on, man, it's a work. I have no problem with it, man, whatsoever.
Good thing. Fuck.
Well, sure, you guys are old smoking buddies. And speaking of all this smoking,
our friendship
I'm just looking for a segue.
Our friendship has a lot more to do with just smoking marijuana.
Are you gamers as well? Does that go along with it?
We are brothers in professional wrestling, and that's a big fucking deal.
I'm just trying to segue to 2K17.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. Hey, I just fucked up her segue. Sorry about that, Charles.
Well, Godfather, you're in the new WWE game that came out yesterday. Are you a gamer? Do you play it? Have you seen it? Do you get a pre-ordered copy?
I know this. Maybe Sean will help me with this. I called Mark Carano, but he just says you're making money. What the hell is, I'm in the game twice. I'm as Papa Shango and I'm as Godfather, but I'm as download characters.
Oh, downloadable content.
What does that mean?
You'll make money. Just to be honest, Charles, those video game checks aren't what they used to be.
I know that. I've been under. They've had me under a license and a merchandise contract since I've left, And they're actually pretty cool with me, man, because they still make a lot of those action figures, and I've been involved in so much, from DX to Nation to The Rock to Ultimate Warrior to I've been involved with the Godfather. I've been involved in so much stuff back in those days that I'm still not doing too bad with my checks.
Nice.
But I didn't know, like, if I thought it'd be better just to be in the game than be in the download character.
I don't know, man, because the truth is I don't play video games, Charles.
Yeah, I don't either.
The last time I played video games, it was like Miss Pac-Man and all that shit, But it's pretty. It's nice to be. It's nice to be included though, and it's nice to have a new doll out and shit like that, and it's really sweet that like somebody that wasn't even born yet knows who the fuck we are because of WWE Network.
No, you're right, bro. I have more people ask me about Papa Shango now. I'm like, wow. Like, how the hell you know about Papa Shango? And
that was a great gimmick, too, man. That was great, and you did it great. And, it was a little bit much for its time, like with the green shit coming out of Warrior's head and all that. But that was all great shit, man.
Hey, people still talk about it. Anything that people are still talking about, good or bad, at least they're still talking about it. So, I'm cool with it. You know how easygoing I am, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And you haven't been gone entirely for too long. You appeared in 2013 in the Royal Rumble, and the 30th anniversary of the Royal Rumble is coming up soon. Is there any chance that we would see you in it or in any match?
So they're always asking me to do stuff, but I don't really care to do it, to be honest. I just, I'm unfortunate. I'm not really looking to do stuff. That was kind of like something I used to do,
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
I like that.
I'm not really looking to do any wrestling.
A lot of people, Charles, I mean, I don't have to tell you, so many of us can't let go and just continue to hold on. I think it's fantastic that you're at that point in your life where it's like, hey, man, I look back at it with a lot of fondness and they're great memories, but, onward and let's move forward in life.
Yeah, I mean, got a lot of respect for the business. I made money in the business, met a lot of good friends in the business, but I had my time, man. I do signings every now and then. I do them more because places I want to see or people I want to see. I do them strictly if I'm going to have fun. If I'm not going to have fun, which means smoking and having a good time and people taking me to different marijuana places and stuff, like I just went to Colorado Springs and had a great time. But if it's not like that, bro, I ain't doing it. And if it involves wrestling, I'm sure the hell ain't doing it. Because I'm not trying to get out there and get hurt, man. You get out there and you forget that that you haven't done it in 15 years. You start doing stupid shit. Next thing you know, I'm hurt, and I'm getting too old to get hurt. I'm trying to stay unhurt.
No, I'm right there with you. Ugh.
Well, we sure appreciate you coming on and talking about wrestling at least a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't mind. It's a pleasure of mine talking to you guys.
Oh man, oh shit. Dude, I can't wait to see you, Charles. Seriously, I'm gonna come to Vegas and visit. I promise.
If not, I'm sure that you'll be at WrestleMania.
Yes, you bet. Every year, I'm there.
I don't see you there. Before that, I'll see you out there, bro.
All right,
we'll chop it up, man, and have some fun like we always do.
You better believe it.
We usually hook up pretty sooner or later and pass each other in bed somewhere.
You bet. Hey, Charles, thank you, man. And I miss you, man. And I can't wait to see you again soon, man. Thank you so much, bro.
You guys take care of yourselves, bro.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that was awesome. And we will be back with more X-Pac 12360 on AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Maria Menounos here. We want to let you know about my new show on SiriusXM Stars Channel 109. It's called Conversations with Maria, and it's live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Go to conversationswithmaria.com for more info. Buzz you later.
Hey, wrestling fans, if you want to see Sean X-Pac Waltman in your area, be sure to make it out to the following upcoming shows. Saturday, October 15th in Brooklyn, New York for WrestlePro. October 28th through the 30th in Dublin, Ireland for AWR. On Saturday, November 5th in LaSalle, Illinois, Sean will be making an appearance at Dreamwave Wrestling. If you have a promotion and want to book Sean Waltman on your wrestling show, send all serious appearance inquiries to showbiz@aol.com. Back to you in the studio.
Welcome back to X-Pac 12360. We are amped.
Yeah.
Dude, that interview was insane.
No pun intended, but I'm still on a high from that conversation with Charles. Man.
So much good juicy stuff. He did not hold back, but not in like a crazy negative way either. Just fun stories and little tidbits we didn't know.
There's not really any negative things I can think of when it comes to Charles. I mean, I can't think of one negative story or of him being a dick or I mean, shit, I wish I could say that about myself.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. You know what? That Europe tour always comes up. You always bring up that Europe tour. That must have been one of the most fun
Europe
times.
Tour.
Was it?
Yeah, that was a couple of years earlier.
Okay. You've had your fun in Europe, haven't you, Sean?
I have. I wish I could remember most of it.
Oh, well, I can certainly understand why you don't after speaking to the Godfather.
Yeah. Man, I just am so happy with that conversation we just had.
Well, we just love when we can give the fans what they're going to love too, and I'm pretty sure they're going to love this one. You're welcome, guys. Yeah. You're welcome.
I don't even know if there's anything else to do after. I mean, shit.
Well, we just saw a little graphic with all of your upcoming appearances.
That's right. Yeah.
So we want to make sure that everybody comes out to see you where you're at. And they can do that also. We've also posted it on our Instagram and Facebook pages. I insist that they give us a thumbs up. Tell them, Sean. Tell them to go to our Facebook page and give us a thumbs up.
And then there's always that one asshole. And it's always one, right?
It's just one. We've had so many as 111 thumbs up on YouTube and 1 thumbs down. That was our first episode.
Yeah.
So we love those thumbs up. You can do it at facebook.com/xpac12360 show and follow us on Instagram at xpac12360. You guys can always hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Christy Reports. Let me know if you've got some wrestling scoop. There's been so much crazy stuff going on lately. You know I love it, and I love to keep up with you. So hit me up there. And Sean, they love to reach out to you too. Where can they do that?
That's right. And you can follow me on Twitter at @TheRealXpac. And thank you so much. And hey, thank you for covering my ass last week on the go home on the ouch. I was supposed to say goodbye to everybody, and I was sitting there with this blank look on my face. And she covered my ass.
We're not going by a script here, people. We are raw and real.
Yeah.
On X-Pac 12360, and we will be again next week. We'll see you then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, Kevin Undergaro, show producer Jimbo Frank, managing editor of AfterBuzz Wrestling Christy Olson, and managing producer of AfterBuzz Wrestling Mark Bidonica, and the entire X-Pac 12360 staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in. Feel free to like us on Facebook, rate and comment on iTunes and YouTube, follow X-Pac on Twitter at @TheRealXpac, and email us at xpac12360show@gmail.com. This has been a presentation of the AfterBuzz TV Network. Buzz you later!